Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm gonna go over Terence Crawford versus Israil Madrimov. And wow guys, what a fight. It was very intense, which may sound a bit odd to some of y'all given that it wasn't the most action-packed fight. You know, neither fighters were very voluminous with their punches. There wasn't any real scary moments for either of them. There were no knockdowns, nothing like that. But you know, to me, I thought it was very intense because you could see that they were trying to figure each other out. You could see their gears turning. You could see them playing high-speed chess. They were having a bit of a mental warfare in there. And, you know, the fact that these guys can both really whack, the fact that they're throwing with so much ferocity in their punches, and you can see the intent behind them, really gave it that suspense feeling, that suspense factor throughout the entire fight. So how did I score the fight? Well, if we go through the fight round by round, I thought Crawford won the first 3 rounds, mainly because of his output. Or I guess it's more accurate to say because of Madrimov's lack of output, lack of activity. But in the second or third round, I know Madrimov landed a straight right that I know Crawford must have made a mental note that, yeah, this is not the guy to play with. And, you know, Bud is a confident guy, right? But he took a while to really find his footing in this fight. It took him a while to get comfortable in there. And I think that's because of Madrimov's awkward herky-jerky style. You know, in the prediction video that I made a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that he is a tough guy to read and tough guy to time because he is in perpetual motion, guys. His hands and his feet and his head are always in motion. You don't know what he's gonna do. And even for a great counterpuncher like Bud, someone like Madrimov will be very difficult to time and read. Madrimov, on the other hand, was very tentative early on. He knew the danger that there was against a master counterpuncher like Crawford, so he opted to take the economical approach where he only really threw when he knew he would land. In other words, he didn't take enough risk to win the first 3 rounds. But the 4th and 5th, I thought belonged to Madrimov, guys. He simply let his hands go and he was landing, which in turn had Crawford throwing less. Bud still didn't have his timing and rhythm down, so he wasn't able to catch him flush just yet. But y'all, did you see the ending of the 5th round where Madrimov landed an overhand right, I believe it was, on Bud, and Bud was stunned for a second or two. He didn't move. He just, you know, he had his high guard up. He didn't take a step back or throw back. I really thought he was stunned, like proper stunned. You know, in that sequence, Madrimov landed 2 or 3 more punches, and then Bud recovered, and he immediately wanted that get back. He wasn't successful in getting it back, but he went right after Madrimov, and the bell rung. And this guy is just a dog, man. Bud Crawford is a dog. Now, the 6th round, I thought it was a great bounce back round for Bud. He let his hands go, and he was super sharp. Madrimov had his guns holstered again, no doubt because of the return fire from Bud, but you know, any opening that Madrimov had, Bud would throw a punch or 2 at the target, which, you know, must have pushed Madrimov back into his shell. So that makes it, after 6 rounds, I had it 4-2 for Terence Crawford. And more of the same on the 7th round, really. I gave it to Bud. Nothing really noteworthy happened here. I just remember that Bud won it clearly for me. But the 8th round, Madrimov had himself another great round. He was landing that straight right down the middle in between Crawford's guard and even to the body, man. He was touching up Crawford's body, which I thought he really should have done more in this fight. And I thought it was at the end of this round where Madrimov landed a huge overhand right, which in my opinion would have sat a lot of these other fighters down. But Bud, man, he took it so well. It was a huge, powerful overhand right, and I was looking forward to the replay, but nothing. I don't know why, but the zone refused to show a few good clips from Madrimov during the fight. There was a punch I really wanted to watch back in round 5. I wanted to see a slow-mo of it, and they didn't show it. And same with this one, they didn't show it. I'm just like, what the fuck? They showed nothing in between rounds. They didn't show a single highlight. I'm like, why, bro? We don't need to see these guys in the corner when there was a punch that landed like that. But anyways, Madrimov wins round 8 and 9 as well. In round 9, he landed the cleaner, more eye-catching shots, and he was clearly the ring general. He didn't dominate the round by any means, but I thought he won it convincingly enough. So after 9 rounds, I had it 5-4 for Crawford. After dropping the previous 2 rounds, Crawford had himself another good bounce-back round in round 10 where he didn't let Madrimov go. He punched first and he punched last. So he won the round. And the championship rounds, I thought Bud won as well. So that means my scorecard reads 116-112 for Terence Crawford. Yes, guys, I thought that Bud won the fight. It was a very, very, very competitive fight. A lot more competitive than most of these people believed the fight was going to be. That's because these people don't do their homework, man. They just hear a name, they watch a highlight, and yap about how Crawford will dog walk him. But, I digress. My thoughts on the fight. I thought it was a very entertaining fight and a suspenseful one at that. Like I said in the beginning, I thought Bud took a while to adjust to Madrimov's style. I thought Crawford got acclimated maybe by the 6th round or so, and he really got into the groove in the 8th. That's where you could see he was having fun in there and he was loose. I thought, Crawford's technique was impeccable. He was super, super sharp. Timing was good. Punch placement was good. For the most part, offensively, I gave Terence Crawford an A. Great jab, good uppercuts, nice hooks. He didn't neglect the body. He threw with ferocity and mean intent and threw multiple shots, which made it hard for Madrimov to counter him. Defensively, I thought he was a little bit leaky. I thought he took on a lot of damage in this fight, a lot more than even I was expecting, and I thought that Madrimov would do well, but I didn't think he would land as many as he did. His guard was tight, right? But Madrimov's straight right hand just kept on blasting through his guard. And I guess that's what happens when you enter your 4th weight class. He could have used a bit more head movement too, but for whatever reason, he had on that high guard a lot more than usual for this fight. But, for a year layoff, like I said, he was super sharp. And I don't think Bud has lost a step just yet. He was still really quick in there. Like I said, the timing was good. And if it wasn't anybody else in there, man, I thought he would crack their code much sooner than he did Madrimov's. It's just Madrimov's style, man. It's a difficult one to solve. And, man, I like Crawford's fighting spirit a lot. He's one of those guys who are truly junkyard dogs, who lives for the smoke. A good example of this is in the 8th round. He was eating those straight right hands, but he stuck his tongue out and he smiled and he was dancing on Madrimov. You could just really see that he was having fun in there. He was having the time of his life, and I really appreciate that as a boxing fan. You could see someone who genuinely likes, who loves what they're doing, and honestly, it's just awesome to see. And you can even see in the later rounds, he's already taking damage at this point. There's that extra pep in his step, man. He's like, he's having the time of his life in there, and it's just cool. Crawford, stay the way you are, man. Super cool, super entertaining. As for Madrimov, the relatively unknown fighter, definitely made a statement tonight. He showed that he is an elite fighter who can hang with the best of them. Look, this was his 10th or 11th fight, and he was going against a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter in the whole world. And he more than held his own, guys. He snapped Bud's head back more than anybody has ever done. So huge credit to him. He also took a lot of good shots from the sniper that is Terence Crawford, and never once wavered or took a step back. Okay, that's cap. That is cap. He did take a step back a couple times, but no longer than, for a 5-second stretch. Madrimov is a tough, gritty, athletic, powerful, explosive, and smart fighter, man. I think with this performance, he earned himself another shot or 2 against another big name. Him versus Ortiz or him versus Zhu would be a tough call. Outside of those 2, and of course Crawford, I don't think anyone beats him in this division. I am now officially a Madrimov fan. But that's it for me, guys. What did you think of the fight? Who do you think won? How did you score it? Please leave it all down in the comments down below. And please leave a like and subscribe. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing, very quick. What the hell was Eddie Hearn waffling on about, man? Look, I love Eddie Hearn just as much as the next person, but it was a close fight that went the right way, in my opinion. So what is he moaning about? Madrimov did not clearly win. So I don't think a reaction like that from him was warranted. But what the hell do I know? I'm not a promoter. So it is what it is.